All right, guys, let me know if you can hear me. Know how it goes. Same shit, different day. Well, rather, not same shit. Things have been getting a lot more interesting in the last few days. Though the stock market is not one of them. You know, a lot of people looked at the stock market and they were nervous, but the stock market has to tumble a hell of a lot more than what it did the last couple of days. Anyway, let's get it on with it. Catgirl, Bush Pig, Ozark Prepper, thank you for the 5x5. Winter Homestead, Loretta, WTC, Raccoon Eyes, Adriana, Rosie, Grit and Grace, My McKintry, Crow, Angelwood, Jacob, Muddy, thank you for the 5x5. Idaho, Johnny, Dobie, Ed, Fisher, Finley the Dog, Flown Grown, 2 Tim 3, thank you for the 5x5. Cav, thank you for the 5x5. Fluster, Keeble, Black, Master Blaster, Leona, thank you for the 5x5. Kaya, Cooper, Scott, Ed, thank you for the 5x5. Matthew, no we can't. Joanne, Chris, Krista, Uptech, Kathleen, Betty, Occult Prepper, Brian, Todd, thank you for the 5x5. Drone Professional, Rosie, Comment Moon, thank you for the 5x5. Sean, Agina, if I said that right. John Wright, S Bar, AWOL, Let's Go, Countless, thank you for the 5x5. Michigan, Tia, Melissa, thank you for the 5x5. Susie, 3x3. No, 3x3 means you can barely hear me. Prep to Adapt, thank you for the 5x5. All right. So, let's get on with it. And everybody else, thank you for the 5x5. Let me bring this down. All right. So, like I stated earlier, or a couple minutes ago, seconds ago, the stock market has to tank well beyond what it did the last couple of days. What was it? Thursday, Friday, and Monday. Today went back up a couple of points. So again, it's not the end of the world. Now, should we experience something like 1,000 point a day for the next 2 weeks, then we're in trouble. But it has to drop, I think, a total of 9 or 10,000 points for it to be even worrisome. Now, I know a lot of people worried today, and according to Prepper Revelator, there was a lot of volume yesterday when it came to trading, but there was barely any today. So we have to wait and see. That's normally how it goes. The economy, guys, it is what it is. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. That's all I can say. I haven't seen any videos on it, but I'm pretty sure there were prepper videos, or not prepper videos, but just videos out there, people panicking and flipping out and being complete bitches. When I saw it, I was just like, oh shit, but I wasn't too worried. You start worrying when they start announcing the shit on the news, and when I mean announcing the shit on the news, when people start getting laid off and shit like that. No one got laid off. No one's getting fired. No one's throwing themselves off the building, though that's sort of a myth, not entirely true. Only 1 or 2 people threw themselves off a building during the 1929 crash, and I suspect that the hundreds of people or tens of people, like 20, 30 people throwing themselves off, that was probably one person telling that story 80 different times. So, didn't happen as such. Well, here's the other Google. Here's the other thing. It doesn't pay to flip out. It doesn't pay to panic. It doesn't pay to again, turn into a bitch. It to stand your ground. That's all you can do. Catfish, Flat Earth was about to blow the lid off of everything. Yeah. You're not catching me in that trap. All I can say is if you believe the earth is flat, then you're pretty retarded. But anyway, so a lot of shit's going down outside of the stock market, right? We have what looks like I guess you can call it civil war, but I don't want to call it civil war because to me, civil war is fighting people or countrymen within your country. In the UK, those are not their countrymen. Those are illegals who are squatting in their country. So you can call it squatters' war. I don't know. I don't know how you want to call it. It should be more than 400 points. Well, it went down. What was it? 400 Thursday, 400 Friday, and then Monday it went down 1,000. Right. So that's 1,800 points. It only went up. What? It went up 400 today, right? Or 800 today. Again, I wasn't too worried about it. I didn't. It went up 294 points today. So not by much. So the future slides. So they think tomorrow they might be in for another losing day. But whatever. Again, not the end of the world. It's not going to fucking kill anybody. Don't waste money investing. Don't waste money. Okay, don't waste money. Invest in tangibles. All right. And when I read that, I was like, don't waste money in investing. But punctuations, man, they make a huge difference. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah. So, let's start it up. I am a little drained. Not even drained. I just feel, today. Felt good early, and then all of a sudden I got home and I just fucking, Greg, I did not replace those cans. So after all that went down, obviously all the other shit that I had go down in my life went down, and I never able to replace the can. Though where I live now, I can get those cans for like $20 because it's, here in the ghetto, if you will, a can of, I don't know, let's just say Ship-O-ID, an example. Not the greatest meal to get, but nonetheless, it's a meal. Ship-O-ID here is like 5 cans for like $5, right? It used to be 5 cans for, no, it was like 10 cans for $5. Now it's 5 cans for $5, but it's still good. So I can replace a lot of those cans inside of a week. But replace the chair. The chair doesn't get replaced. The apocalypse goes down, guys, and I die in this chair, if it comes down to it. If I have to get into a shootout, I'm getting into a shootout in this chair. We're going out in a blaze of glory. If I move, the chair's coming with me. Sarah Smith, there are a couple of, what are they, like pepper ball guns? So you can get them here in New York, but the weird thing is you can only order certain like pepper balls, which is weird. And someone brought that to my attention. I had to go look at online. So like the ones that really hurt the eyes, you can't get them sent here, but you can buy them somewhere else and load them into that pepper gun ball thing, whatever the hell it's called. It's a weird thing. But it's a strange rule, if you will. And I was looking to get one, and you can, like I said, you can get the gun, but the pepper balls, there's ones that are city safe, whatever the hell that means, and then there's one that like you'll fuck somebody's eyes up. That's the one you want. I'm gonna look more into it and see if I can actually get it sent here. And then if once I get it sent here and I get the little pepper balls, we'll do some practicing on the crackheads around here. Target practice with live people. That should be an interesting live stream, huh? The amount of trouble you would get into doing that shit. What are you talking? Why are you talking? Show the chair. But 1,800 points on 40,000 down. That's why pinch runner. That's why I said that this is nothing. It has to drop. I think it's more than 10,000 points for it to matter. But right now, people are. I guess they were just making trades. I don't know. I'm not a stock market guy. All I know is that yesterday wasn't a big to-do. Though Fox News or somebody said that the 3 days of loss made the economy worse under Biden than Trump at this point. Whatever the fuck that means. So, Things around the world, guys, are clearly getting bad. We have migrant problem all over the world. The one I still can't get over is the one in Japan. I can't get over that one. These people, I think they were like Yemenis or something like that. They made their way to Japan. That means you had to get on a plane or boat to get to this place. Who the hell was paying for that? Obviously somebody was paying for them to get there. I got to get the group of people because I forgot what the group of people were. And I remember when I looked at it, I was like, what the fuck is that? And how did they get there? Hold on. But somebody will probably name it before I fucking pull it up. Right, so they had a big to-do. And the migrants are from the Middle East, I know that much. And they are there now in Japan. And the Japanese, which is weird because they sort of accepted them, but they're treating them like shit. Well, the people are treating them like shit. And I guess rightfully so. But the problem that's going on in the UK, that's the crazy problem. Migrant, sorry. That's the crazy problem. So now, the Muslims that have been in the UK for years now, the Muslims that have been there, I saw a video yesterday, and so clearly they got what Elon Musk said was a civil war, which again, I don't know if you want to call it that, but I guess for argument's sake, we'll call it a civil war. And a bunch of, as they say, far right-leaning group attacked a hotel with migrants in it. And they broke some glass. I don't think they beat anybody up, but they went after it pretty hard. Anyway, the British government, or I think it was around or near London, they actually put cops around the hotel. I think they put some kind of gates up, so they're protecting the migrants there. But what I didn't know is that there was a migrant that stabbed 3 kids. That I didn't know, and I think that's why everybody's pissed. Well, I'm not sure if the guy, Brit, who got beat up at a restaurant had anything to do with the guys that tried to storm the hotel. Now, they didn't try to storm the hotel, excuse me. That's how the liberal media put it. But when I watched the video, all they did was break some glass, they threw some shit at it, and that's it. They didn't run inside, they didn't pull anybody out, they didn't beat anybody's ass. They just being unruly. The British guy at the restaurant, I'm not sure if he was a waiter or he was somebody at the restaurant, but he got the shit kicked out of him. I mean, they curb stomped this dude. Not that I've never seen anything like it. I haven't seen anything like it in a long time. But all of these guys that stomped them out were all Muslims. I think they were flying the Palestinian flag and somebody else's flag. So, of course, with that, after watching that happen, the Brits have to, instead of attacking a hotel that can't fight back, get in the streets and get busy. That's the only way you can stop. And unfortunately, it has to lead to some kind of fighting. There's no other way of looking at it. You can't piece your way out of this shit. You can't negotiate. You have to bring it to them. Someone said they burnt down 2 hotels. All right, if they did, I didn't know. 9 little girls, 3 died. Okay, so they stabbed 9 girls, 3 died. Roger that. So again, still, regardless of how you look at it, it's bad, and people are getting tired. And it's not even about those 9 girls. There's been a lot of shit going on leading to that, like a lot of women getting raped, a lot of women getting beaten up, people getting beaten up. I mean, like the video I saw of them picking on what looked like the kid was retarded. I think I'm pretty sure he was. Not I think I'm pretty sure he was. He wasn't like quirky retarded, but he was there, and he was like, like they stopped him, and even in his mind, he knew something was wrong, and he stopped and he was like smiling, but he had that hesitant smile, and they started beating him up, and they took his bike. I mean, like this kid's he's a fucking tard, so they took his They took his bike, and they kept beating him up after they took his bike. Like, one kid took it and rode off, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? So anyway, things are getting out of hand over there. Now, it'll be a little while before it gets like that here, because I think even the Muslims here know to stay in their place. They know that there's only so many places they can go. Now, here in New York City, there is a community where they have their own security force in Brooklyn. They have a RMP, or a patrol car, that looks like an NYPD car. And they've been riding around there acting like they're police. They're trying to protect their neighborhood. In Detroit, I think it was Dearborn, there was another, I'm pretty sure it was Michigan. Maybe it wasn't Dearborn, it was outside of Dearborn. Dearborn, Michigan is a highly Muslim population. And outside of it, those people were chanting Sharia law something. Bring Sharia law or support Sharia law. Something Sharia law, like they were for it. Now, of course, people in Michigan are like people in New York, gigantic vaginas, so they're not going to do anything about it. But nonetheless, it's a problem. So, but they're only going to go so far. They're not going to pull off the shit they're pulling off in the UK. The shit they're pulling off in the UK, not for nothing, the Brits had that coming. They should have stopped it when they had the chance to stop it, but they didn't. They kept letting it happen. They kept letting these people in. And this is what happens. When you let it get away from you, like a freight train, you cannot pull this back. You can't fight with it. You won't even be able to negotiate with them, because they do not know how to negotiate. They want it all or nothing. And that's how the people that take over those no-go zones operate. They don't operate in the manner of, all right, well, you guys can't come into this neighborhood after this time of day. They're like, you're not allowed in here at all. But they can go into your neighborhood. Well, they should build a fence around those no-go zones and keep them there. That's an easy solution. Do it overnight. Have a squad of dudes to keep them in and build up a fence, and then surround the fence and teach them a lesson. But I don't think it's I mean, I could see it getting that bad here, but I don't think anytime soon. You know? Rip curl, yes I do. So again, those people in Brooklyn and the Jews have their security force already. The Jews had it for a while. They use anti-Semitic. Listen, the Hasids, not just regular Jews, the Hasids in Brooklyn, they have a security force. They are by far the biggest group of people that are full of shit. They're the worst, because they use everything is anti-Semitic. Everything. If you vote against them, you're anti-Semitic. If you tell them they can't have X, Y, and Z, they like children. Everything's anti-Semitic. If they don't get their way, they have temper tantrums, and they use anti-Semitism. They're like, you don't want us to protect ourselves? Hitler wanted the same thing. He didn't want us to protect. I mean, like, everything they connect to Hitler, everything they connect. They are the worst group of people to have in your city and or town. So don't. Everything about them is off. And they have the same attitude as the Muslims. These two people who don't like each other are one and the same in the way they operate. They don't want to negotiate. They want to take everything over. They don't want people in their neighborhood. Matter of fact, the Hasids don't want scantily clad women, according to them, walking through their neighborhood. There was only one incident that I remember where a woman went through the neighborhood. She was jogging, so she was wearing joggers clothing. With that, they were harassing her. Now, I don't know if it went beyond that, but the women were calling her whore, you know, and the men were shaking their fist and throwing bagels and locks and shit. Pretty sure they weren't throwing bagels, but you get my point, right? And that was the one incident. And so, of course, no one gets charged. She even went back, and I think she pointed out who it was, and no one got arrested because they're protected. The same thing happens with the Muslims. The same thing happens with anybody who is not white. with the exception of black Americans. Black Americans and white Americans right now are getting their asses handed to them by everyone. But if you're Muslim, transgender, and Jewish, you're protected. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. Everybody's like, oh, and fuck them. Fuck them all. Because they are, like I said, guys, they are not the people they pretend to be when they're on TV. When they're standing behind whatever mayor is in office at that time, and they sit there and they hold each other's hands, the imam and the rabbi, they're like, look at us, look, and then they fucking holding hands and they do this bullshit, and they raising it, we will fight injustice. Get the fuck out. You guys are the biggest injustice frauds on this planet. The fraudulency that goes on between these two people on different situations, it's amazing. Amazing. They are, they're like, we are the melting pot, and yes. And then they're like, assalamu alaikum, and then whatever Jews say, dreidel, 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 whatever the fuck they say. And all of that is a ploy. It's the worst ploy you'll ever see. You'll never see anything like it until you watch a news, where they're getting together because a Jewish guy got his hat hit off his head. So they made a whole news clipping a couple years ago. Jewish kids walking down the street, minding his business, right? And he's like, dee, 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 and all Jewish songs in his head. And, thinking about whatever shit Jewish meal he's going to eat later tonight. And some kids walk up and smack a hat off his head. They smacked the hat off his head. That's all they did. All they did. Calamity Girl, thank you. I appreciate it. And with that, the New York media puts it on the news, and they're like, a Jewish boy was assaulted, and they play the video. And you look at the video, and I go, they knocked his hat off his head. Now, I wouldn't even call that an assault, but they did. But here was the catch. The kids were black. Oh my God, what are you going to do? The black kids, Jewish boy, oh no, right? Like, what do you think? The what you call it in that was awesome. So, of course, the Jewish community was calling for heads to roll, and they were screaming and crying. And again, they connected everything to Hitler, and like, the Hitler did that too. He knocked our hats off our head, oy vey, and then they cried and carried on. And then the kids got arrested, and then there was nothing else after that. Radio silence. So, of course, guys, this shit happens all the time. Matter of fact, this is going back almost 15 years now. Maybe a little longer than that. Almost 20. Guy goes into a bagel shop. The Jewish bagel shop. But that's where the best bagels are, right? He goes in there, he's waiting online. He is waiting online. He's next. The people that walked in after him were, and they kept walking in after him, and the guy behind the counter kept, matter of fact, sorry, scratch that. As he stood online, they were now skipping him. And he made a scene. And they beat him up, chased him outside, beat him up some more, and then they said it was anti-Semitic. And they all lied and said that he was screaming anti-Semitic remarks. Okay. Well, here's the catch. And here's what bit them in the ass. The logic of somebody who doesn't like Jews would not be inside of a store getting bagels. So, of course, they got caught in a lie, and, of course, the stories change, and then the case gets kicked out. But nothing happens to the guys that lied about him saying that he was yelling anti-Semitic remarks. So, yeah. When it comes to those people, whether it's the Towelees or the fucking curly lock guys, I have no sympathy for them and no sympathy for any of their bullshit and any of their stories. I don't care, because I know for a fact that they're all lying. They all are. They're one and the same, and they hate to admit it. And if you tell a Muslim guy, oh, you're acting like a Jew, or you tell a Jew he's acting like a Muslim, they get bent out of shape. Oh, no, we're not. We're better than them. No, you're not. You guys are one and the same. You guys do the same exact shit verbatim. You guys say the same exact shit verbatim. You guys do the same exact shit. You guys spread the same lies. But yeah. So anyway, that's the bullshit with New York. Again, I told you last week about the fake melting pot. New York City's fake. We're complete and utter phonies. And every time I see it on TV, man, I'm like, it just annoys me. Some little black kid gets killed, and then a Jewish rabbi comes out and hey, throwing fucking bagels and shit at everybody. Like, you have a bagel, you have a bagel. And then they fucking put on this stupid grandstand of nothingness. All right. Matter of fact, when what was it? The Crown Heights riot happened back in, what was it, 90 something, 80 something, 90 something. When that happened, a Jewish man was distracted somehow, hits a small black boy on the street and runs him over. The kid is pinned under the car. Hatzolah, which is an ambulance, a Jewish ambulance, comes along in their Jewishness and takes the Jew that hit the kid out of the car, throw him in the ambulance, and take him to the hospital. Well, with that, everybody was screaming that there was a kid pinned under the car. They didn't care. So they left the kid under the car, they took the man who was driving, and when EMS got there, the kid was already dead. But nobody tells that story because it paints those people in a bad light. I am all but willing and able to do that because, again, they're full of shitism and the fact that they never apologized for that. Because then the Brooklyn riots broke out because of all of that. And all they had to do was take the kid to the hospital. That's all. And none of this would have happened. It would have been fine. But after the riots, they got together and they were, kumbaya and all that bullshit. And whatever. It was garbage. And the same thing goes for, what was it? Oh, the fire that happened a few years back. So there was a fire where these kids, again, woman comes running out screaming for help. Her kids are trapped. And she had one, I think they had 4 kids. She had one, the baby. And it was during their, I guess their Shabbat, their version of it. And she's screaming for help. And nobody is trying to help her. Nobody's running inside. Guess what neighborhood she was in? It was her own people. So nobody ran inside. Nobody helped her. Nobody attempted to help. One person actually picked up the phone to call the fire department, but they wouldn't even do that. They wouldn't call 911. They wouldn't run in and help. Why would anyone respect a group of people like that? So, yeah. And yeah, I lay it all on the fucking table. All on the table. Because I do not give a fuck. But that's what it is. Right? So anyway, as far as this world falling apart and where we are headed, I am undoubtedly demonetized after that little talk. But and it's okay. Because I'm tired of these people lying about the shit that they lie about. Everybody. I'm talking about whether you're Jewish, you're Muslim, you're black, you're Spanish, Dominican, Puerto Rican, I don't care. Everybody lies about their hardships here. You want to talk about hardships? Let's look at some African nations that are going through hardships as we speak. Let's look at some European countries that are going through hardships because their economy's shot. That's hardship. Oh, because you didn't get to go to a restaurant, or because the French turned you away from a restaurant, you made it a big fucking to-do. What's her name? Sabrina Williams, right? That fucking knucklehead. That's hardships. Not getting medicines for simple diseases that we don't even have that can be eradicated with cheap medication. That's hardships. Watching your kid die from the whooping cough, that's hardship. But yeah. Google, yes, and Christians, listen, everybody. I just said everybody Google censorship. That means every fucking body. No, it's not, well, false gods. Yeah, people using God as a reason why to do what they do. I find that to be bullshit too. It doesn't matter who you are, what religion you land in. Every religion does that. Well, God told me I had to bang 8 kids. because 8 plus 8 is 16, and 16 is, and then they make up these mumbo jumbo. David Koresh, though supposedly David Koresh didn't, there is that argument that he didn't, and they painted him that way to make him look bad so that they can attack the, so maybe that was a bad reference. But, yeah, people use God to do evil shit. And I see right through it all the time. But where's the line? Where's that line? Where's the line where people use God to be like, well, God told me that if I collect $1 million, we can build a new church in His name. In His name. God doesn't want you to build a giant church with bling and lights and fucking dancing nuns. Like, they don't want any. He doesn't want any of that shit. But these people say He does. God wants me to look good. I know my suit and tie cost $3,000, five grand, and my shoes were $2,000. But He wants me to look good so that you guys could look upon something nice and listen to the Word of God. That's full of shit. That's full of shit. Jim Jones is a different animal altogether. He was a different animal altogether. He wasn't even on the same plane. I can't even talk about him. That was a different dude. Like, what he did, crazy. Crazy shit. No taxes. Groundhog, no taxes. You want to talk about no fucking taxes? The NFL. Talk about no taxes. The money they pull in, we have to pay taxes on everything. I scratched my dick the wrong way. I got to pay fucking dick scratching taxes. And the NFL, making the billions that they make, they don't pay taxes because they are a what you call it? Was it a 503c? Did I say that right? They're not an organization. What the hell is that called? Like a charity, right? So they don't pay taxes. It's fucking insanity. Was that guy? The guy with the teeth, the scary dude. Oswald? No. The dude with the fucking teeth and the hair, and he's always like, and the Lord told me that if you give me $20, I'll make your prayers come true. That dude. 501c3, yeah. Non-for-profit, thank you. Non-profit, thank you guys. Couldn't think of it. But the other guy, let's get on the other guy. No fans left. He's another one, right? He's always in church. He's always like, hey, guys, and look at me. Give me money. I'll make the church bigger. Or I'll rent a bigger place so I can spread the word of God. I'm like, stop. And people believe that shit. People believe Dracula. Yeah, Dracula, my ass. The fucking, what the hell's his name? Osmond? Osteen. Thank you. Joel Osteen. Thank you. I could not think of his name. Peter Popov. No. Joel Osteen. That guy. The guy with the fucking teeth and shit and fucking the hair. The coiffed. Who goes up there and talks to the and says that God is speaking. Get the fuck out of here. He's not speaking to you. But people believe him. I don't understand, man. I've watched preachers my entire life. My entire life. Whether that was a Muslim, a rabbi, an imam, or a rabbi, or a preacher of some kind. And I look at them and I sense bullshit in 90% of them. It's a shit show, man. But whatever, Don King. Yes, Don King, you got it. Right on the head. But anyway, guys. With everything going on, with all Donny Osmond. No, man. Donny Osmond. But, with everything going on in this world, I mean, what's going on in the UK is fucking crazy. Crazy. And people think that it's going to spill over to here. And I'm like, I don't think so. Only because we have firearms. And I don't see Muzzies pushing that boundary. At least not yet. Don't get me wrong. Dearborn is growing, right? It's not just going to stay Dearborn. It's growing. Like this fucking neighborhood here I'm in. The amount of crackheads that are here are fucking insane, by the way. I want to get into it because every day I go outside, there's 5 more new crackheads. It's like 1 ODs and 5 more appear out of nowhere in this neighborhood. I'm like, the fuck is going on? Why there's so many crackheads running around? They're all fucking crackling about and shit. And that's why they call them crackheads, because when they move, they sound like crack. Like, they move around like fucking crackling rats. Anyway, I shit you not, man. Every time one passes away, 10 more take its place. I'm like, the fuck is going on here? People that I grew up with, that I knew, they all cracked out and shit. I'm like, why, dude? Why? There's one guy I caught getting on. So we have a, before I get into the news, we had a guy in this building. I grew up with him, too. Two guys I grew up with. One guy I grew up with, he is fucked up. I mean, he's gone. He is bad. And when I see him, he's all like, on the street and shit. And he's like, Bobby, can I get a quarter? And I'm like, yo, I give you $5 if you get off the street and go to a shelter or some shit, man. Or $20 or $100. Like, and he's all banged up. He's always barefoot. I think he's on a castaway island because his shorts are ripped. He looked like Tom Hanks from fucking Castaway. And he's all fucking jacked up. And he had mental problems growing up. I saw him. And I knew that he was going to have mental issues when he got older. But another buddy of mine, just the other day, I get on the elevator from the top floor. So I get on the elevator, I come down, and it stops on the infamous crackhead floor, the shooting gallery floor in my building. It's on the 30th floor. And I'm sitting there, I'm standing there against the thing. He comes on, and he goes, oh, yo, what's up, Jay? And I go, yeah, man, what's up? What are you doing? He goes, yeah, man, nothing, man. I go, you doing something? Nobody comes off of this floor for no reason. He goes, yeah, man, well, yeah, how you doing, by the way? Like, he changed the subject altogether. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And late in the game, we're in our 40s. And now he's succumbing to this shit? I mean, like, guys, like, with everything going on, now I'm watching guys in their fucking 40s turn to drugs. I'm like, what the fuck? I am completely baffled by what I'm seeing with our generation. We are almost to the finish line. We're almost fucking there. And now you decide to go, I'm going to try some crack and start crackling about. What is that? Yeah, one shot, one kill. You wouldn't believe. Yo. I have to tell the story. I have to tell this story. Bear with me, because the shit. All right, so I grew up in this building, right? I've been in this building about 40 years. My parents, obviously I moved out when I got married, first time, second time. Now I'm back. So, of course, now I'm back, and I look at everybody like, ew, get the fuck away from me. What are you doing? You're standing too close. Fuck you. Why are you dressed that way? Like, and these are people I grew up with, because I'm like, what is going on? All right. So now, one day, my buddy calls me up. He's like, yo, I need your help with something. I go, all right. What do you need? He goes, I got to handle some business. I knew what that meant. So I was like, I wanted to see where this was going to go. So I tag along. We go upstairs to the 30th floor. Now, before we get inside the apartment, on that floor, there's a camera on that floor alone in the hallway watching who comes in and out of down that hallway, rather, in and out of that apartment. So that was a red flag. When I came off the elevator, I was like, what the fuck? I said, why is this here? And my buddy turns around, he goes, because of them. And I go, oh my God. So we get down to the door, we knock on the door, and we walk inside, and I was like, I couldn't say a fucking word. I was like, and I turned around to my buddy, and what the fuck happened in here? So now, before we go on further with this story, the people who lived in an apartment were church-going people. It was a mother and father and four kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. The daughters are actually good. They both made it out of one actually lives downstairs. The other girl made it out of the neighborhood. She's good. The sons are all fucked up. They're drug addicts. The mother and father were both good people. They were working class. They did everything they were supposed to do. They took their kids to church. They did everything they were supposed to do. And they never motherfuck their kids. Never. Well, their boys went sideways. I don't know what happened to them. But the father and the mother, they were righteous people, right? Church going, believed in the Bible. I mean, like the whole 9 yards. They were fucking squared away. Every time I saw the father, he had a smile on his face and he talked to you, how are you doing? So anyway, toilet, thank you, nice one. That's what I felt like when I walked into that apartment. Anyway, so these were nice people. Their kids, I don't know what the fuck happened. All right. So now we're in the apartment. It was like, yes, like the building in Judge Dredd, the good one, not the one with Sylvester Stallone, the good one with what's his name, Keith Urbanson, whatever his name is, right? So I'm walking down the hallway and I'm all fucked up. Like nothing surprises me in regards to walking into people's apartments and seeing the shit conditions they live in. When I see kids, I get pissed off. But outside of that, I don't get surprised. So now I'm walking down the hallway, and I'm like, I don't want to touch the walls, because if I touch the walls, I'm pretty sure I was going to die from some fucking infection. So we get to the room, or the person in question, and the door might as well not have been a door. It was Swiss cheese at that point. I don't know what was going on with this door, but it was fucking like, yeah. So you could talk to the guy through the door, like just look at him like a drive-through. Hey man, what's going on? Like that kind of shit. So my buddy goes into the room and he starts questioning this guy. This guy took something from him. So anyway, all hell breaks loose now. And before it gets to that point, before it gets to the all hell breaks loose point, I look in a room behind me, and it was a room that was stuck in the 90s. Comic books, magazines, everywhere. The door was off the hinge. There was clothes on the bed. I thought I saw fucking a million roaches in there. All right, but I'm looking at the bed, staring at it. Don't see anything. All hell breaks loose. I turn around, and the kid that lives in the apartment, one of the church-going kids, let's call him Joe. Let's call him Joe. I don't want to say his name. So Joe gets up. What are you guys doing in my apartment? What are you doing? He came out of the fucking bed. He was there. I was like, where the fuck did he come from? And I told him, so we got a situation going on in one room. A fucking zombie came out of the bed, out of the roaches in the pig. I was like, were you fucking sleeping on that? He was like, that's my room, man. I go, why the fuck were you sleeping in there? Yo, I got so fucking pissed. I've never lost my shit than I did at that moment. Because the disappointment, the anger, the everything hit. Because who they were before they became that. So anyway, I'm like, yo, just stay over. Because, he like a fucking, he just, and the mattress, I didn't even want to look at the mattress, but I'm fucking pretty sure it was the Scrots. It was garbage. Whatever. But he just came out of this shit like all cracked up and shit. I was like, my God, man. Why the fuck? So anyway, all hell's breaking loose in the other room. I go back in there and try to fucking break that up. All right. So then it rolls out into the fucking hallway. There's 4 people in the apartment. It goes out into the hallway. They're fucking getting into it. And I'm like, oh, man, am I going to have to stop? And I'm like, all right, he's got this. I look back. One guy, Joe, standing behind me. Look at these 2 guys tussling. I turn back around, and there's fucking 8 people standing behind me. And I'm like, where the fuck did they come from? Now I'm talking to my other buddy. I'm like, is this for fucking real? He goes, I don't know where they came from either. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yo. So I break it up. I break up what's going on. I'm like, all right, fucking enough. This is bullshit. I don't want fucking AIDS. You need to knock it the fuck up and grow up. And then that was it. They broke up. They went downstairs. They talked about it. And then after they talked about their differences, it was good. And then after the storm passed, I was like, I turned to my buddy who was getting into it. I'm like, yo, we're not going to address the fact that we just came out of a fucking crack house? He goes, yo, it's been like that for years. Years? What the fuck? And they're letting him live here? And he goes, yeah. I go, if you would have saw what the apartment looked like before that, then you guys would understand. I can't explain it to you. But I was just like, I said, but they're living like that? And I said, all those people? And then he goes, yeah, they've been living like that for a while. I was like, and their sister doesn't have anything to say about this? She goes, what is she going to say? Take him to a fucking rehab, something? And anyway, later that night, it gets better. It gets better. Later that night or the night after, I can't remember which it was, the kid that was laying on the fucking bed like a zombie, who came out of the fucking bed and the roaches and the magazines and shit, he's standing in the middle of the street. I'm walking from parking my car. And I'm walking up the block and I hear him screaming. I'm like, come on. Because I know his voice. Joe. It's Joe screaming in the middle of the street. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck you yelling about? He's like, they're fucking trying to play me. And I'm looking across the street and there's nobody there. I'm like, who? He goes, damn. I'm like, I know I'm getting old, my eyes are getting bad, but I don't see anybody. So I'm like, all right, Joe, what did they do? They're disrespecting me. Look, they're looking at me. I'm like, Joe, go the fuck upstairs. I said, better yet, put those fucking size away and go the fuck upstairs. He's like, but I'm like, go the fuck upstairs. And he's like, oh man, I just need someone to hug me. I'm like, I'm not fucking hugging you, Joe. I said, I don't know what the fuck was on that bed, but we not hugging. Go upstairs. And he was like, and he started to walk away from me in the opposite direction of upstairs, and then he stopped and he went upstairs. And I'm like, I said, what the fuck, man? What the fuck happened to these kids? Anyway, so all of that happens, and I'm just like, my fucking God, man, these people fell apart. Like they just fell the fuck apart. And so now I'm walking in the street and I'm looking at guys I grew up with in my era, rather. Some guys I knew or knew of, but they weren't my buddies. These kids I grew up with, I remember when they were fucking small. They're in their early 40s, late 30s now. Right? So I remember when they were like babies, and this is what happened to them. And I look at them and I'm like, your fucking parents would be embarrassed right now. Embarrassed. Because of what I'm fucking seeing. And listen, I'm no fucking like absolute dude, but that's fucking bullshit. Anyway. Yeah, that was fucking horrendous. Tia, that is an understatement. It's just, I couldn't understand that, what I was looking at. I'm just like, but that bed shit, that shit fucking freaked me out. Because like, listen, I've been to some apartments, man, where like a lady had a ham and cheese sandwich on the floor and someone stepped on it and it stayed there. The kicker was there was a fucking family of roaches around the ham and cheese sandwich. And I think the roaches were having a fucking party on it. I've seen some disgusting apartments, like some really fucked up shit. But I knew these people. I grew up with them. That's what was so disappointing. But the bed shit and coming out of it like a fucking zombie, and he did it in one move, which is even worrisome because I'm like, was he levitating? Or did the roaches help him up? Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on there, but the fucking, I was like, did you just come out of that, like, I couldn't understand, like, did you just come out of that fucking bed? I think he came out of it. I don't think he came off of it. I think he came out of the bed. But that was bad, man. That was bad. It was just, it was one of those situations that I'm like, and I told my buddy, I'm like, you better never fucking call me for bullshit like that again. I could see, like, if they did something to your wife or your kid, yo, what's wrong? We're hanging dudes off the terrace kind of shit. But the shit that they got into it with was dumb, was stupid shit, was child shit. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever put me on a fucking spot like that. He was like, oh, I was pissed. I'm like, I get it. But don't call us for that shit ever again. And I'm never stepping foot in that apartment again. Never. I said, there better be a fucking 1075 in that fucking apartment before I step foot in there. I said, never again. Yo, it was the craziest shit I've ever seen. The fucking bed shit. I've seen some crazy shit. That was bad. I mean, listen, some apartments I've been into, like, yo, I'm talking about roaches everywhere. The walls are moving kind of shit. And I remember going into one lady's apartment. I was like, nope. She was like, but we have a water leak. I'm like, is it coming from upstairs? She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you got a water leaking from upstairs. We'll go handle it. I'm not stepping foot in here. She goes, but. I go, there's no buts, lady. I'm not going in. I go upstairs. I handle the problem. I come back downstairs. I'm like, yo, there's a water leak upstairs. It's going to take a couple minutes to stop. Be easy. She was like, can I show? I said, I don't want to go in your apartment, lady. And I was like, I don't want to dirty your apartment. There were roaches everywhere. There are things, listen, I will go down a fucking hallway on fire before I step into a room full of roaches. Rats, you can kick. Roaches, yo, they end up everywhere. No thank you. No thank you. So anyway, watching the people I grew up with, walking around this neighborhood, guys, and seeing the shit that I'm seeing. I have to do a live stream. The problem with doing a live stream and walking around this neighborhood is that everybody's playing their fucking bachata music shit, and I don't want to get red flagged for it. So I figured out a way to live stream and mute it when I get close to the music so I don't get flagged for it. Because what happens is it flags the whole video then, the whole live stream. But, yeah. And the shit that I see, the people, yo, there's a couple that I've run into like 4 or 5 times. And they're together. The crackhead couples in this neighborhood stay together. We can't even stay married to our loved ones. And crackheads are cracking it out and staying together until one of them don't make it. One of them shoots the wrong shit and then they fucking break up. That's how they separate. They don't willingly do it where we willingly do it. That's some shit. Yeah. Thank you, Prepper Revelator. But yeah, I'm sorry about the fucking story and shit, but I should have been talking about the riots and the shit going on with Iran. I'll talk about it Thursday. Thursday night I'll be back on. I do apologize for that. But yo, I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like that situation. And again, because I knew these people, it mattered. And I was annoyed. I was pissed. And a matter of fact, I wanted to go talk to my buddy downstairs about it, and he was like, yo, he tells me like part of the story and like what happened. I'm like, I said, but the oldest sister should have been like, why didn't she say? She said, we tried everything. We tried fucking getting them clean. We tried this, we tried that, and nothing. He said it just fell apart. He goes, it just fell apart. And one of these guys are not going to make it. I know one of them is smoking dust, and he's fried. That's Joe. Joe comes downstairs, and Joe's all like, man, it's bright out here. It's fucking midnight. And he's like, it's bright out here. Why is the sun? I'm like, Negro. That's the fucking moon, and it's not that bright out here. And he'll talk to me sometimes, and his brain is so fried that he talks to me, and I just say yes now. I'm like, yeah, man. Yep. No doubt. Yeah, man. Oh, shit. Really? I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but I'm agreeing because I'm just trying to, like, talk to him. Like, I don't shun these guys. I don't see them and go, fuck. You know, I talk to them, but yeah, man. Yeah. Word? That happened? Really? He could be telling me about the fucking secret of the universe and I have no fucking clue. Zero clue. But, there was a side of me. There was a side of me that wants to like every time I talk to him, I'm like, yo, like, what do you like? One of my buddies, he's like, yo, what do you? No, I asked him a couple months ago. I'm like, yo, what are you doing today? He's like, oh man, I'm gonna go boosting. I go, boosting? He goes, yeah, man. You know, you need anything? I go, no, I don't need anything. And he's like, yeah, man. Well, if you need something, I'll get it for you. I'm like, I could buy it. Thank you. He goes, yeah, man, anytime. I'm just like, yo, he says it like it's an everyday, like it's his job. What are you doing today? I'm going to work. He's like, yeah, I'm going boosting, man. And he got pinched the other day, so he's going to be in until October, I heard, or some shit like that. But, yo, that's insanity. So, I know his parents, man, if they are in heaven and they're looking down on him or through a mirror or in a punch bowl, whatever the fuck they're looking at him, they got to be fucking spinning in the grave. Because that is just disappointment. Mackenzie, here's the one thing about the people I grew up with. I wouldn't call them friends, but I grew up with them, and if they needed something, I would try to work with them as best as I can. But what I don't do, and I'm not going to do, is turn my back on them or away from them or avoid them. I mean, like, I don't understand getting into drugs this late in the game. I don't. But I'm also not going to ignore them. Because at some point, they might ask for my help. And I got to be hoping that they're going to be asking for my help any day now. All right, but I don't know. I don't know what what to do, but abuse turns the wise to fools. I guess Benjamin, but we're in our 40s. We're not in our 20s or our early 30s. We're in our 40s, and oh yeah, someone was asking what boosting is. Yeah, it means thank you, Google, and somebody else. Somebody else just gave boosting. What is boosting? I'm ignorant. Nope, you're not ignorant. It's a street term. If you're not from the hood, nigga, you don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Boosting means stealing, just like Google said. Somebody else said it too. But yeah, it just means stealing. That's all it is. And people they when they say they're boosting, they're gonna go steal some shit, and they will be kind enough to ask you if you need anything. Do you want me to steal something for you? And you go, no. Right? Yeah, you don't enable them, but you also don't turn away from them, right? I mean, like, they ask me for money. I'm like, for fucking what? I want something to drink. Let's go to the fucking store, right? I get it for them. I'm not gonna sit there and give them fucking money. I'm not an idiot, Huffing computer dust is, I guess. I don't know much about huffing. We don't do that here in the hood. I guess. I don't know. But yeah, Matthew, no, this is a brick. It's a thing. It's not a green screen. Why do I get a question about my brick wall like fucking 2-3 times what's going on with your brick wall, man? It's the fucking... It's cloth. It's cloth. It would look like having a brick wall in the middle of my fucking apartment. Yeah, right. The boosting shit's insane. I just when he said that to me, I looked at him and I stared at him for quite a few seconds. Like, no, thank you, man. I didn't know what to do. I don't know. But whatever. I hope that these guys do clean up. I hope. That's all you can do. But the amount of shit that I see and the people I grew up with turn to shit is so disappointing. And I know what disappointment is, but I was never disappointed in people I knew until I came back here and I saw this. And listen, I'm not fucking Mr. Dudley Do-Right and the holier than thou. I'm not. But I thought we all knew better. I thought we did. Apparently we don't. And apparently drugs is a motherfucker. Anyway, other than that, I'm going to get going. I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth channel. Thank you. The subject we were supposed to talk about tonight, we will talk about Thursday night, unless something happens between now and then. But all I can tell you guys is keep your eyes on the Ukraine and Russia situation. I think that's going to unfold a lot faster than we think. And when it unfolds, like I said, the world is going to be holy shit. And we will talk about that Thursday night. Thursday night. I will have a Wednesday midweek report tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock. Sorry, 10 o'clock. Other than that, guys, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to the story. Yeah, man. And see some of you guys over the Angry Truth channel. Good night.